50-50. Yeah. Hot dog. Isn't that fun? It's like, yay. Oh, here comes some. It's kind of raining out there, isn't it? Jeepers creepers. I feel like I'm in Chicago. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome, and I'm glad I survived my Kentucky Derby party as well. I thought of you guys at 4 o'clock. I said, I'm sending love and energy. I'll be there, and move over. I'd like a taco, please. But my friend had such an array of food. But I will tell you that my horsey did not win the Kentucky Derby. However, the horse that won was trained by the first woman ever to win the Kentucky Derby. First woman trainer ever. That is huge, 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 huge. And she was 23-1 odds, so whoever bet on her made a bundle of money. But we really did have fun. I said, gosh, have you ever had so much fun losing money? But it was fun. I did win some, but it was, I'm like a very emphatic watcher. So it's like I can't even sit still and watch it on the big screen TV. I was pacing and screaming, and she's like, we were having a ball. But I thought of you guys because you were probably screaming and yelling and having a ball too. So we were all in our right places. So I say welcome to you, and let's read the very front of our book. Oh, I have the booklet that's upside down, just so you know. And our mission statement is on the very front, and we read together, we are a loving spiritual community that honors your presence, nurtures your joyful self-expression, and empowers your spiritual growth. Is that the truth? Yeah. Yes, it is. And now we're going to read our new affirmation for me on the left-hand side, which says, that which I seek is seeking me. That which belongs to me will come to me. Since it is my desire that only good, truth, love, wisdom, and power shall go from me, I know that this is all that can come back to me. The kingdom of God is within and all around me, and I know that the power of the living Spirit exists at the center of my being, and so it is. And now we're going to have our congregational song. It's a new one. It's I Release and I Let Go. How many know that one? Yay! I think we've done it before. I may need to borrow the sheet. I gave mine to Cecilia. Okay, so, and I will, okay. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. There's no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. There's no more struggle, no more strife. And with my faith I see the light. Yes, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. Yes, I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yay! Okay, we have Liftoff. That song, you could wake up every morning and sing that. You could sing that as you're collecting your stuff for the Treasures and Trinkets show we're having next Saturday. Okay, so our Cinco de Mayo party was a huge success. Yay! Thank you to everyone for working on it. Susan cooking the food, Lainey getting and doing and all that stuff, and Nancy getting and doing, and all the decorators.
And Robert.
And Robert, yes, and it's absolutely. And we're going to say, we know Marianne won her prize, so yay for her. And there's a couple things we're going to do. And first off, we are going to introduce Bart to come up because he wants to share something. So Bart, you're going to come up. And you know what I'm gonna give you this. Just stay right there, and there you go. There you go. He has,
I get this.
yep,
Am I on?
you're on. Now turn that way. You're on.
I was gonna get up.
Okay, you come up.
So I can lean.
You can come up and lean, yes.
First off, you have to know that my mind is.
I'm gonna
not
do
like a
this.
sieve.
You're not, yeah, we're gonna turn you up. We're gonna turn you up. You're speaking soft.
Yeah,
Not
all right.
loud
My
mouth
mind
like
is
me.
sort of like a sieve, and I do this from notes, but I can't read, so, it may be a little messed up in the beginning. The first thing you need to know is that my family is genetically, prone to fat lumps, and that will enter into this. So, here we go, and the first part of this, we're gonna skip through, so that we don't take too long. Back in, about 2022, I discovered a fat lump in my crotch. Or at least I assumed it was a fat lump, because it was about the size of an almond, and the same as most of the fat lumps. So I pretty much ignored it. Now I can hear me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just ignored it until about 2024, when it was larger. Didn't bother me, didn't hurt, but I thought, we probably ought to talk to a doctor about this. So we talked to a doctor about it, and they decided that it should probably have a CAT scan. And he decided the CAT scan didn't tell him enough, so we got an MRI. So he decided that didn't tell him enough, so we got a PET scan. And they decided that it was a malignant tumor, about the size of a walnut. They extracted that, and when they biopsied it, in fact, it was malignant. And he decided that he didn't really get enough margin at the time, but he closed it up anyway, and he got the results of another PET scan, and that showed that, in fact, he had gotten it all, but there was less than the amount of margin that he wanted. But it also showed a malignant tumor on my left adrenal gland, which is on top of my left kidney. That was spooky. So, we go along and we get that biopsy, and the biopsy shows it as negative. But it's explained to me that taking a biopsy of something that has cancer in it is like throwing a dart and hoping to hit the cancer on something that is only 10 or 20% cancer. So the biopsy came up negative, but they decided we should have surgery on it anyway. That begins the story. In trying to arrange that surgery, it was decided that I should probably go to City of Hope for that. And City of Hope recommended one of their best doctors. And but the problem with that was that his schedule and the operating room that he wanted as a modern robotics operating room was 5 months away. So this was scheduled for November 11th. This was back in like February. So I have 5 months to wait while things are going on and getting organized and getting authorization for the surgery. That turns out to be somewhat of a problem. And a lot of communication between the insurance company and the network provider organizer and doctors and all. And my wife is on the phone regularly, weekly, and sometimes daily. And then we bring up the first of the significant points that I wanted to make. One day she spent 5 hours on the phone trying to get my surgery approved. 4 hours of which was on terminal hold. She has patience of Job, and I will tell you honestly, if it had been me, not somebody with as much patience as Carol. I'd have thrown up my hands and said, it is what it is, I don't need to deal with this, live or die, whatever. Thanks, Carol. Probably a life.
Speaking of which, if you look out the window, there she is.
I don't know, is she here?
She just stepped into the restroom.
And so we go on from there, and we're having trouble getting the final approval, and it's getting close, and Carol is dealing with the same management, network management company and everything, and really not making much progress. Coincidentally, we get a card from the insurance company which says, if you're having troubles, call this number. They probably wish they had never sent it. At any rate, Carol calls that number and explains the whole situation. Young lady on the other end of the line says, oh, well, I'll make sure that it's marked urgent, and I will put it in the pile, and you'll hear from us probably in a couple of weeks. And Carol says, you don't understand. This is urgent, and I need to hear from you much sooner than that. And the young lady says, fine, I will personally attend to it, and I will get it marked urgent, and we will put it on the top of the pile, and you'll hear from me in a couple of days if I can find out anything.
We're anxious to hear about the surgery. We're anxious to hear about the ending.
Yeah. And Carol says, very calmly, love this. Carol says, let me be perfectly clear. If I don't have an approval by the end of the day, an authorization, Carol says, let me be perfectly clear. If I don't have an authorization by the end of today, I am calling the insurance commission. Thank you. Click. 2 hours later, we get a call from the management company saying, sweet young lady on the other end saying, we've been working diligently because we've seen that your thing was marked urgent, and it's taken some time, but we finally have an approval, an authorization, and we wanted to call you right away so that you would have it as soon as possible. And Carol says, what is the authorization number? And we're sending a hard copy to my surgeon. Yes, we are. Fine, everything. Thank you. Bye. It was lucky she was talking to Carol, because I would have said something like, coincidentally, 2 hours after we talked to, yeah, you lying sack of dog. At any rate, November 11th, I had the surgery, and they took out the mass on the top of my adrenal gland, and the adrenal gland as well. And when they biopsied it, when they took it out, it was benign.
Yay!
We went through hell for 5 months, thinking that it was a serious cancer, and it wasn't.
And the moral of the story is,
We're not there yet.
oh,
And then 6 months later, we get another PET scan to make sure everything is clear. And I just got the results of that, Carol, and I just got the results of that this past Monday. Everything is clear of cancer. And the things that brought that about were very, very good doctors and surgeons, and most importantly, from my point of view, was prayer, faith, and positive thinking.
yes. Amen. Thank you, Bart. Isn't it true that sometimes everything happens in divine right timing? And that means it's God's timing, not ours. But when we put the intention out there, it comes back to us, doesn't it? So thank you, Bart, for sharing that absolutely fantastic news, which is lovely. And then there's another news I want to say. Robert and Joe have donated a refrigerator, which is coming on Tuesday. When I got that text, I started to cry. My friend's like, is everything okay? I'm like, everything's amazing. So that's really fun. So thank you so much. And we'll figure that out whenever it's coming. I'll be here. So there you go. I'm going to read a couple other items for our announcements. We've got a lot of announcements. Remember, we're still doing the can do. So we're working on the bringing in cans and stuff like that. And also, how many of you have been asking your neighbors for recycling? I have been. Well, I almost saw one hand. Well, how many are bringing in recycling? Yay, me too. So, but think about it. You know, your neighbors are recycling too. You just say, hey, can you put your plastic bottles aside? I'll get them. You know, it's not that hard, and it's a benefit for everybody. So thank you for all that. I am teaching an accredited class on Thursdays. There's still time to join. We're on our third class, but you can join. But after this week, you can't join. But it's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And it's a great class, and it's focused on how to shift your consciousness to create the things that you desire and understanding the power of your thought and how it works. We're meeting on Thursdays in the conference room from 4:30 to 7 now, so that's what's happening there. You know, our treasures and trinkets rummage sale is coming up Saturday. I know we're setting up on the 8th, and the event is on the 9th. You can see Nancy if you want to volunteer, but we were asking people to put it in the front office, but now that our Cinco de Mayo's over, we can put your things in the back of the Chafee Hall, and we're going to arrange them all. So if you have to start cleaning out your stuff, and bring it, because it'll be a great day. So again, see Nancy to sign up. We're going to have movie night again on May 22nd. It's going to be here in the sanctuary. This time we have the correct stuff for the to work the projector. We have an old projector, so I didn't have the right connectors. It's called a VGA. Who knew? But at any rate, it's going to be from 6 to 8 here in the sanctuary on May 22nd. Mark it on your calendars, please. Our annual meeting will be June 14th. It's a Sunday. It's going to be right after service. We're going to do it about 12 o'clock. We're going to be here in the sanctuary. And everyone is invited to attend, but if we are going to do a vote at all, you have to be a member to vote. So just know that. Dennis and Pinocchio are back from Japan. Yay! And so we're setting up some sound baths. They were already booked for the only week, Saturday, that we had open. They're already booked. It was the last weekend of May, and they're already booked. So every other weekend here, we've got something going. So I said, okay, so June 20th is going to be their first one, and then they're also doing one in July. And just letting you know, it's in here somewhere. Just know that coming down the pike, we're planning a 4th of July barbecue. We're also planning a concert series and maybe even a coffee house again. How many ever attended when there was like a talent show coffee house? No one. Well, it's going to be, yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Potato. But at any rate, we're gonna schedule that as well. So just so you know what's coming down the pike. So then we know choir practice is every Monday from 4 until 5:30 here in the sanctuary with Michelle and Kathy Craig, our fantastic piano player. You can join them, and they're working on music because they're going to be performing on the weekend of 4th of July. I think it's July 3rd, actually. 5th? Okay, 5th. Okay, so whatever it is, it's that weekend. Okay, that 4th of July weekend. So please contact Michelle if you want to join, or just show up on the Monday at 4 o'clock. Also, we have, Susan has a discussion group on Wednesdays that goes from 6:30 to 7:30. It's via Zoom. If you're interested in joining, see Susan and she'll give you the Zoom link. That's on Wednesdays. And also, let's see here, we've got our gentle stretch class that's on Fridays from 10 to 11. Cost is $10. That's with Michelle, and it's over in Chafee Hall. And then let's see here. On Sundays, remember, every Sunday, 9 a.m., we study the science of mind from 9 until 9:25. Then right after that, we have a little meditation. Then right after that, we have service, and then we eat. Pardon me? Oh, we have the prayer, excuse me, yes we do. Before we eat, we have the prayer circle. Thank you, because that's been really positive. How many participate in that prayer circle? Well, the focus is on prayer and on healing and of all sorts, so that's what we do. We want to thank all of our volunteers, which is basically everybody in the room. Yep, that's it. And then now we're going to have our meditation song, and so it is. Oh, yes, thank you. The menu Carol is providing: leftover Cinco de Mayo delights, green salad, bread pudding, fruit, and desserts, assorted desserts. So there we go. Now we have our meditation song. God is all there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know it is, and I receive as I believe. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. I see that everybody survived the party and came back on Sunday. That's good. It was a fun party. Okay, now is the time for our invocation, and I'd like for you to just get comfortable in your seats, take a nice breath as you sink down into the comfort of God. That comfort knowing that God is present right here, right now, through each one of you, each one of us. We are that God divine energy, and it is glorious. We are magnificent expressions of that divine. And through that expression, that magnificence, we have the power to do what we choose. We have the power to live in peace, to speak peace and spread peace, the power to be in love with our life, in love with each other, just plain loving everything. And that in that statement, I declare that to be good. It is God, all God, and it is magnificent. Just take a moment to be in that thought, to feel that magnificence of who you are, to feel that love of who you are, and to feel that peace deep within your soul that knows all is well. All is well. Regardless of any appearances, we go back to God and we declare it good. And as I release these words in gratitude for knowing this truth, in gratitude for sharing this truth, and gratitude for knowing the truth, I know that the universe says yes. The universe responds to our words, to our thinking, and to our actions, because it's all God. And so in gratitude, we simply release this word into that divine law. And together we say, and so it is. I want to share with you our Ernest Holmes readings from 365, the 3rd of May, which is today. Mary's talk is about GPS. And Ernest says, the all-intelligent creative presence is the source of all that I am. The all-intelligent, all-wise, all-knowing. It knows everything, this energy called God. Okay. And a creative presence is always present. We all have that creativity within us, and we can use it. It is the source of who we are. I believe in the ability and the willingness of this great source to sustain its own creation. I believe in that. This presence takes care of us. The kingdom and the power and the glory of God is expressed through me. I am God expressing. I recognize myself to be a center through which this intelligence and the power of this universe find expression. I am the center of this intelligence and power. Infinite mind operating through me now brings me to the manifestation of harmony, order, and the highest good. The consciousness of peace and plenty is established within me. All that is necessary to my happiness and well-being now comes into my experience. I know that and I declare it. Strength and courage are my divine birthright, and I am now expressing my true self. All that the Father hath is mine. I draw from the spiritual treasure house all that I need. That's all we need to remember. And so it is.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia.
Okay, I'm gonna play for you a piece called Cat Call by American composer Edward McDowell.
Hang on. That was beautiful. Can you guys hear me? Did I turn this thing on? Did I not turn it? Oh, there it is. There it is. So many wires. Thank you, Cecilia, our great in-house talent here. Amazing. Just amazing. So today I fashioned my talk over about GPS, but it may not stand for exactly what we think it stands for. So, you know, in most cars, we are blessed to have these navigation systems that we call GPSs, which stand for Global Positioning Systems, right? And it guides us to our best destination, doesn't it? It is such a beautiful metaphor for life, and this teaching, it's crazy. So we program in our goal, and it provides us the perfect directions to get to our destination, right? And if you ever make a wrong turn, you get to hear that lovely voice say, recalculating, recalculating. And so, you know, no matter how many wrong turns you make, it still operates and functions to get us to where we want to go. So we have to say, yes, thank you. But many times, if it says recalculating too many times, we get a little bit annoyed, don't we? But, so you get to choose the navigator's voice, don't you? I have picked an Irish woman. Now, it could be because one of my dear mentors that taught me for 20 plus years was Dr. Moira Fox, who is an ex-Catholic nun from Ireland. So she speaks with it. So I'm so used to hearing that voice. And then also my relatives all spoke with brogues. So it feels like home to me because everybody's like, why'd you program it like that? And she speaks some funny words. She calls my friend Denise, Dennis. And I said, oh my gosh. So, but at any rate, you've got to do it so that many of the people and many of the important things is how you, not only how you respond, but how you relate to the voice, right? And the more you relate to it, the better. Because if it's a voice that annoys the daylights out of you, what happens? You have now sent this annoying energy into that field of frequency, and what's going to happen? You're going to keep getting annoyed and annoyed. But if they speak gently like, oh, darling, make a left turn here. She didn't say you bonehead or anything like that. She just said, just make a left turn here, da-da-da-da-da. Remembering that we're all energy and we're always broadcasting that frequency, we have to respond well to the way that person is giving us instruction because we're the one that put that instruction in there, right? Or that destination in there, and she's providing the instruction. We provide the what, and it provides the how, right? It's not telling us, all right, you're going to go to the food store today. You're going to Vaughn's and over here, right? No, we program it in. We tell it where we want to go, and it figures out the how. So now, if I change the course of my destination too many times, sometimes I always have the feeling that that voice says, would you straighten up and fly right for heaven's sakes? You know, I always feel like she's going to say that, but she doesn't. She's just like, all right, turn left here, you turn here, do this here. And it's like, oh gosh, she's got it all figured out. She gives me the new path to follow, and I'm on my way again. Because a lot of times when I put in my navigation stuff, I don't know where I'm going. I may be going somewhere in downtown LA and I've never seen it before. The important thing about using the navigation system, in order for it to work properly, you have to program in the destination, right? It's not going to tell us where to go. It's only going to tell us how. Now, once I discovered this teaching, I realized GPS really stands for God Power System. We're all having a God Power System. And so I now call my GPS system my God Power System. Oh, she's helping me get to a spot. It's always directing us to where we want to go. Emily Dickinson calls it the thing that perches in the soul, that sings the tune without words and never stops. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it God Power, you can call it whatever, but guess what? You have to call it. You have to call on it. In order for this teaching to work, in order for this understanding to work, you have to call on it. You have to instruct it. You have to put your things in there. When we enter a location, we go into the car, then we have to listen to the directions, don't we? Because a lot of times when we put in a goal, when we put in a way that we want to go, sometimes we don't listen to it, do we? We go, oh no, we don't listen to that divine voice that says, you might not want to do that. You might not want to eat that extra piece of cake or whatever it is. You might not want to, talk smack to that person. You might want to be kinder in this situation. Sometimes we don't want to listen to that. And the importance of following your God power, right, is that you have to listen to what it has to say. Otherwise, what's the point? You've now put in an intention in there, and the universe says, okay, is that what you want? We're going there. So in life, how do you know when you're going the wrong direction? How do you know? Anybody? You check in with your heart. You check in with your God power in your heart and say, am I feeling joy right now? Not happiness, joy. And joy is different than happiness. Why? Because joy doesn't matter. It's not based on the conditions that are out there. Joy is a state of mind. It's the energy field with which we operate in, and it doesn't matter what's happening. I mean, think of Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for how many years, and he winds up befriending the guards that are watching him, finding out about their families and their kids and everything, and befriending them. It's like he was not in prison any longer, and he realized that the guards were more in prison than he was. But we have to just pay attention to, what's my state of being? Where am I? What's making me feel content, and what's making me not feel content? Because guess what? Things happen only by right of our own consciousness, right? It only happens because of the way we're thinking and viewing things. And we can look at it. Look at Bart's situation. I mean, we felt your pain and annoyance and, oh my God, how long this is taking stuff. And guess what? It's divine right action happening. And then the elation that you get when you get the good news. And maybe it took your body all that time to kind of work its way out. Who knows what's going on? But the good news is he's completely healed now. But we have to listen to that own inner voice. We have to listen to, what is my spirit guiding me to? I had a job once, and it was completely the wrong fit. It was just the wrong fit. It had come along, my friend lined me up on the job, and he said, oh, you're gonna love this. This is the best job for you. And it was managing these buildings in Pasadena and blah, 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 blah. And every day when I went to work, I just, I tried my best, but I was just like, God, it is not clicking here. There is something not right. The energy feels off, and I was already working 10-hour days and trying to get stuff whipped into shape, and it just wasn't working. And all my friends would ask me, oh, how's your new job going? And I wanted to be positive, and I thought, well, it can only get better. That's the only thing I could think of to say, because I thought, I just got to keep positive. Well, I positived myself right out of that job almost as quickly as I got it. So it was very interesting, but I followed my God power system. I went every day and said, now listen, is this really making my heart sing or is it not? And it doesn't mean that everything has to be perfect every moment, but when you know that you're on the right path, you got a feeling, you've got a feeling when it's happening. When we state an intention, we're programming our God power system, aren't we? When we say, this is what I want to create in my life. But that takes reflection, doesn't it? It takes, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? How do I want to create things in my life? And guess what? Doesn't mean we have to do it all. We just get ourselves in the right auspices that it guides us. It's like putting your inner tube in one of those lazy rivers. Have you ever seen? I've never floated in one, but my friends have, and they have pictures. And you sit in this inner tube, and the water just moves you along. You know when you're in the flow, and you know when you're not in the flow, especially. When that God power system encourages us to recalculate, it's reminding us to listen to our heart, to think about what we're doing. Hey, where's my feeling Geiger counter? How am I feeling today? What does this make me feel? What does this make me feel when I'm doing this, and how can I correct that? How can I rethink it to create it in another way? Ernest says this, to the degree that a person opens themselves up to their own divine inflow is the degree to which they utilize the powers of the infinite. To the degree that you open yourself up to it is the degree that you utilize the powers of the infinite. Just like Lainey said in our reading today from the 365 book, we're always in the flow. Sometimes we forget. And sometimes we go, no, I'm going to go this way. And then sometimes all hell breaks loose, doesn't it? If spirit is limitless, then the only limitation one encounters is the limit that we put on ourselves by not realizing our God power. That's it. And then, so if things are going south, you go, I'm not recognizing my God power. There's so many interesting things that go on in the Kentucky Derby race, and I get so excited about it. I already watched it twice this morning again, the replay, because it's exhilarating to me. And they interview all the different trainers and all the work that it takes to get to that spot, and it's over in what, a minute and a half. And everybody's worked all this way, and they've done all this stuff, and they've got their faith in their horse, and their horses are all looking around like, whatever, and they're all talking, the horses, I'm sure, are talking to each other. But there's an energy that there were two trainers that were talking to themselves, and normally they're supposed to be in competition, and he said, I so admire this guy for what he's doing. And one guy, he was the trainer of one horse, and his son was the trainer of the other. And he said, I'm so proud of my son. And he's in this race for the first time. He's got a horse, and I'm just so proud of him. And they're like, well, aren't you worried about the competition? He goes, heck no, it's my son. I love it. So it was just this general atmosphere of, and I'm sure there's some snarky stuff going on too, as there always is, but they were all overriding it and saying, you know what, this is a spectacular day, and we're all working together here. And so they're all giving accolades to everyone that got them where they are and all that stuff. Man is not an individual in God. Man is an individualization of God. So think about that for a second. You and I are the individualization of God, aren't we? We're the personification of God. Now, I don't know if you woke up and looked in the mirror this morning and said, I am the personification of God this morning. I can look at my cat and say that. I hold my cat in the mirror. Have you ever held your pet in the mirror before? I held him in the mirror. I go, aren't you the cutest little guy in the world? And he sits there. You know, when cats, when they close their eyes, they're loving themselves, right? They're sending love. So he's blinking at himself and sending himself love. I go, I'm learning a good lesson from my cat. We have to love ourselves. We have to love where we are, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, warts and all. We have to love ourselves right where we are. Because what happens? That sets the tone for the day, doesn't it? I have a thing here at the end that I'm going to read early because I love it. Each day is a sacred gift, and it's the first beginning of the day, right? So when you wake up in the morning, no matter how yesterday went, it's a brand new opportunity to love deeper, to love more, to care more, to be kinder, to be more compassionate, to rethink some things, to re-see things. We don't want to drag all the old baggage in with us. The mornings are invitations to decide who you want to be and what you want to be. Every single morning we get a new chance. It's a chance to choose the energies that we're going to focus on. And I don't know about you, but I wake up, I do a meditation, I do my light work, I do my prayer work, and I listen to a guided meditation because I want to set the tone for the day. I don't want to start off like gangbusters, like, okay, we got a million things to do. Not that I don't have a million things to do, but guess what? They become that much easier to tackle when you've set that tone. You're your highest and your brightest and your most loving self right in that moment, right in that moment. I listened to a professor, listened to a podcast the other day, and she was saying most of us live in a mindless state. Most of us are on autopilot half the time going, oh, I gotta cook this meal. I gotta be here. I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta call that person. I gotta write this thing. Da, 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 da. It's like we're mindless. We're mindless of right in this moment. And sometimes there's nothing like a health challenge to give you a wake up to appreciating life, right? To appreciating right where you are and all the things that you have. Or when you make a wrong turn somewhere, all of a sudden you go, boy, can't wait to get on the right track again. So mornings are that invitation. It's the seed for your entire day. And if you plant it deliberately, it will take you to the right spot. I think, how about this? Look at your neighbor, please. You are a divine expression of God. You are divine by design. You are born of spirit, gloriously made, and that's the truth. That is the truth, isn't it? Each of us must discover the divinity on our own, though. We can read about it, hear about it, listen to podcasts, but until you get it in here, until you can look in the mirror and blink at yourself like my cat Bo does and love yourself back, it's going to go nowhere. Because until we start with loving ourselves, we're not going to accept the love of anybody else out there. And there's no one in the world that can convince us of our worth and our value and all the good stuff that we are. until we get it in here. It's so important to understand that. It's a powerful statement when we say, when we come into the consciousness and awareness and understanding that our life is one with the infinite life, and we open ourselves up to that divine flow, we realize in ourselves the quality. So today, part of your assignment is go look at the qualities of infinite life that you're expressing. Oh my goodness, bibbity bobbity boo, this happened. I had to work on something and I was able to figure the thing out. And I thought, half the time it was my printer last night at 1:45 in the morning when I was finishing printing the programs, the ink died. I said, okay, the ink died. I put the new ink in. Then the paper jammed. Okay, the paper jammed. I lifted the thing up. Then it's like the wireless connection has stopped. Then I spent about 20 minutes getting the wireless connection to go again. Then I got that going. It said, does not recognize the document. I'm like, okay. All right, it's now 1:15. It's time for me to go to bed. And this thing has to print. I go, are you listening to me? My cat's like, are we having treats? What? I'm listening to you. And I said, no, we're making the printer work. So I said, all right, angels, I need your help. I know God, by means of me, is knowing this thing. I lifted the thing up, shut it down, unplugged it, plugged it back in. Boom, it all printed. I'm like, thank you, thank you. So sometimes we just have to put ourselves in that right flow. Doesn't mean stuff doesn't happen. It just means get in the right flow. In closing, I'm going to quote that wonderful sage Winnie the Pooh. Okay. I love this little picture. I love this little picture. He's sitting with a jar of honey trying to open it. There will come a day when our laughter will only echo in someone's heart, when the stories we told will be remembered in gentle fragments, and when the love we shared will live on only as a memory. Pooh sat beneath the autumn tree, holding on to a picture, reminded that time moves so swiftly and moments slip quietly into yesterdays. But he also knew this: we have the gift of now, the chance to be kind, to love without holding back, to speak gently, to leave behind something worth cherishing. Because in the end, it's not the grand things that people remember, but the small ones, the warmth of a smile, the comfort of a hug, the way you made them feel when the world felt so heavy. One day, each of us will become a memory. And the truest gift that we can give is to make sure we are remembered as someone who loved well, cared deeply, and left behind more light than shadows. Isn't that beautiful? Thought, my goodness gracious, he is so wise. So again, I want you to look at your neighbor. You are the divine expression of God. Now you're looking at them and you go, I am the divine expression of God. And so are you. And a crow landed right at that time. You're born to express this innate love, this innate life of spirit in you. Now go out and make it a fabulous day. And so it is. Yay. Okay. And now we have our guest artist again. And I'm going to put my little lavalier here so we can hear you.
As usual, I'm inviting you to your favorite place. You can close your eyes and let's commune with God. Have a conversation, giving thanks, especially for Bart getting well, and for more blessings for us and more to come.
Beautiful. So inspired. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. This is the time of our offertory, and I invite each of us to read the affirmation on the left side of our page, which says, "Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly." And we have our song, "I Am So Blessed." I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. We're knowing I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. And so we're knowing we're so blessed. And I'm going to do a closing benediction. So thank you very much. We're knowing we're so blessed in our giving, and we thank everyone for their generosity. And so this is what I know for each and every one of us. Please repeat with me. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life right now. Right now. There's nothing I need to do. There's only something I need to know. And I am knowing that the divine right action is taking place in me. I am open and receptive to all the good of the universe, all the kindness, all the love, all the compassion, all the creativity, and all the successes, all the friendships, all the communications, all the relationships, everything is working out for my highest good. I am knowing this truth right here and now. I am one with the infinite spirit that I call God. And it guides me, directs me every day. I use my God power. Every day I know that my way is made clear before me, and I create my divine experience, which is a joyous life filled with all great good things. I give thanks for this right here, right now, knowing that it's already done. I know that it's already done. I accept it already as true. I don't have to wish or want or hope. I already know that it's done. And from that place, I know that I speak my word into this law of mind that always brings back to me my true intention. I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is. And now we'll have our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, now it has begun with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, so this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, now it has begun with me. Prayer circle in the front.
I saw you. I want to go say hi to my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an old song. If you ever know it was like, okay. I just heard it like my daughter back memory or so.